All right, listen. First of all, thank you. Thanks for coming out and spending just a little bit of time with me here tonight. I told you that I was only going to keep you here for about 20 minutes, and I definitely want to hold that time limit because we do have stuff to do. September 29th. And I don't know how that makes you guys feel. It makes me want to throw up, to be honest with you, because I'm not where I need to be yet, which means you're not where you need to be. No, you might be where you want to be, but I'm certainly not where I want to be. And we've got a little more than a day left in this month to make that happen. And I always try to compare, what's going on in my organization to the previous month. And then when you realize that the previous month had one more day in it than we have here today, or this month, that makes it even harder. So I always feel like we have to work extra hard on the days that only have 30 days, or months that only have 30 days in it, and February is just a throwaway month, I should say. But I'm super excited about where we are, you guys, the growth of the organization. But I want to just give you kind of a 35-foot view of where we are right now with a little more than a day to go in this month. Last week, I should say, I'm trying to do 5 things at the same time here. Sandra, can I make you an admin?
I was going to tell you that, but
you just need to just jump in here on me, okay? All right, hold on, Sandra. Now I lost you. Oh my gosh, hang on. I need help.
Isn't it wonderful when you have people with skills?
We got skills. We got a lot of people in this team who have skills. All right, Sandra, hang on. Nobody move. Sandra, you are now a co-host. All right, Sandra, I'm going to let you take this from here, okay? Okay. I posted last week, you guys, that I had a conversation with Jay. He called me pretty late. I don't know what day it was, maybe a Wednesday night or something like that. It was pretty late. And whenever I get a phone call from Jay at that time of the hour, I get nervous and I get excited all at the same time, because I don't know if it's good or bad when he calls me at that hour. And the first thing he said to me was, he says, hey, I want to run something by you. Then I knew things were great. And Jay ran some things by me. And I'll be honest with you guys, when Jay does that to me, I feel like the parent in the room. Because sometimes I have to say to him, are you sure? Jay, have you really run the numbers to see if that's going to work? Because there's been a couple of times where he's run something by me and I'm like, dude, you're going to bankrupt the company if you do that. He's like, well, no, because I've got this on this side. And we kind of talk it out together. And this was one of those cases. He ran something by me and I'm like, Jay, I think this is amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing. And I said, when do you want to implement this? And he goes, like yesterday. I'm like, okay then. Now, obviously, you guys, I can't tell you exactly what it was because he may make some changes to it and all this kind of stuff. But I can tell you what I think you should do to maximize these changes that are about to take place. And I will tell you that what is about to take place is going to put a whole bunch of money in your pocket without you doing anything different. Now, the only caveat to that is that we have to go build. We have to go create volume. The only way that we get paid is through volume, through customers, through associates. And I will tell you guys that the more volume that you create, obviously the more money you're going to make. But in this scenario, what Jay kind of described to me, you can kind of 10x it. Okay? And it's not just you. It's this 10xing is because of the people in your organization that are doing the same thing that you're doing. See, this is a special group of people on this Zoom here tonight. All right, what do we have? We got 43 people, and this is the group that I really wanted to talk to, because you guys have to take on a leadership role and make sure the people who aren't on social media, the people in your organization who don't get on these Zooms every single week, who don't even pay attention, all right, to the social media stuff and the things that we do here, but they're actually building their business. They've got to get this information as well. And that's where you guys come in. Because if you can get the people in your organization to buy into this, you win. You win bigger than you've ever thought you could in this business, and you don't have to do anything different than what you're doing right now. I know this kind of sounds ridiculous, but because I can't tell you the details of it, the only thing I can tell you is build volume. And you're like, well, Steve, we always build volume. More than ever, build volume. Get people on SmartShip, okay? Get people to, I don't care if it's the Flex 15 or the Flex 40 or what, I don't care what it is. We can always use patches, right? We can always use patches. We got tons of people that are doing, vendor events and all this kind of stuff. We can always use the patches. But building the volume is where we all need to focus on, because we're about to be rewarded greatly. And everything is going to happen faster. Okay? This whole machine that we're trying to build and generate here, everything is going to move faster. Okay? It's like your grandparents when they had that old washing machine and you had to put the clothes through the wringer and it took out all the water and it took forever, and some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And some of you are like, what is Steve talking about? Yeah, we're going from that to the washing machines that we have today, and the spin cycle is unbelievably fast. You're going to be riding the tilt-a-whirl here pretty quickly without doing anything different. But everything is going to speed up. That's all I really can tell you about that. But just know that if your team builds volume in a big way, I want you to reach down in your organizations and try to figure out who's close to team leader, who's close to director, manager director, whatever, who's close to senior associate, who needs that one more person, who needs that extra $500 in volume. Figure that out, you guys, between now and tomorrow night at midnight Eastern time, because it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off in a big way. From day one, you guys have heard me talk about that our main goal is to make sure that your total group qualifying volume is bigger this month than it was last month. Okay, your total group qualifying volume, that's the volume in your entire organization. You want to make sure that that's bigger this month than it was last month and the previous month, and so on and so on and so on. And just like I said, I know this month, the month is, it's a 1 day shorter, but we can't use that as an excuse, because this business should be building exponentially. And so that 1 day shouldn't matter. But you have to track it. And this is a rhetorical question. I don't want anybody to raise their hand. I'm not going to make eye contact with any of you. But do you guys know what your volume is right now? Do you know? Do you know what your volume was yesterday at this time? Do you guys know what your volume was on June 2nd? Do you know what it was on April 3rd? Because if you don't know, how can you track it? How do you know if you're having a good day or a bad day? I didn't say bad month. I said day. Because if you don't track this total group qualifying volume every single day, you're not going to be able to fix it. If you don't check it until the end of the month and go, I wonder what my commissions are going to be, you have no chance of fixing it. You have no chance of fixing it if you check it every Sunday. You've got to look at it every single day, and if it's not getting larger, you have a problem. There's a problem. Your business isn't growing. So I want you guys to track your total group qualifying volume every single day. And the goal is to make sure that that number is bigger this month than it was last month. And if you continue to have that mentality, you are going to be paid way more than you used to. But we've got to get everybody to buy in. And this time of the month is hectic. It's really, really hectic because we're running out of time and then the clock starts all over again. But what we do right now, between this very second to tomorrow at midnight, is going to set the stage for how we start October. So let's talk about what impacts our success. It's like, okay, yes, we want to grow volume, but how do we do it? What impacts our success? I only have 5 points here, okay? The first one is our personal mindset. Guys, it's our personal mindset about the products and the compensation plan. In other words, it is way easier to sell this, this opportunity to other people if you believe that it's achievable for you. That's one of the reasons we get on these Zooms on a weekly basis. That's one of the reasons we get together in person. That's one of the reasons that events are so important, because you can kind of look around and go, okay, that person's just like me and they're making $10,000 a month, or they're making $20,000 a month, or they're making $5,000 a month. If they're doing it, I can do it. So your personal mindset as far as the product, the compensation plan. Number 2, your personal work ethic. Okay? Your personal work ethic and consistency. That really leads to our success. And realizing that there's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be curveballs, there's going to be bumps in the road. Knowing all of that is going to happen, but sticking to the plan regardless is a must. Is a must. I was supposed to have 3 people enroll today. I had 3 people yesterday or over the weekend, and I'm supposed to have 3 more today. I can't get a hold of any of them. I'm like, the clock is running out here. Speed bump, all right, pothole, but I've got time. Knowing that going in is like, all right, I got to go. Number 3, your personal productivity. You got to lead by example. You absolutely have to lead by example. You cannot sit back and kind of wait for your team to do something that you are not willing to do yourself. That's why, you guys, I have no problem telling you how many people I bring in a month. Because there's no way I would expect you guys to do it if I'm not doing it myself. Number 4, our ability to duplicate. Listen, we can duplicate this so easily. All right? I've got just under 10,000 people in my organization now. Just under 10,000. Every single one of those 10,000, if they wanted to, can duplicate what we're all doing. You know why? Because I have a video. And I can say, do this demo on everybody that you come across. Get the product on their skin, and then ask them if they want to join the business. That's it, our ability to duplicate. And yes, we can all do that. And number 5, guys, understand the culture of this team. And our culture is to develop leaders. I told you a couple weeks ago that our team is the only team in the world that created vice presidents in the last 60 days. Our team. The only team in the world. What we're doing is working. Okay? Now, like I said, how do we create the volume? We create the volume through customers, and we create the volume through associates. That's it. And it's critical that you kind of keep your eyes on both of those things in order to build this, because both of them generate volume. If you have new customers, that creates volume. If you have new associates, obviously that creates volume. And how do we do that? Well, you meet people. You build relationships with these people. You listen to them. Okay? You discover what's going on with them. You figure out what their struggles are. You invite them to try the technology, invite them to look at the opportunity, and then you ask them how they want to enroll. if they want to be a customer or if they want to be an associate. And then you help them get started. It's all we do, you guys. We are simply in the sorting business. Talk to people, create relationships, discover what's going on in their life. I'll give you an example. There was this is how I reach out to people, you guys. I look for reasons to reach out to people. And there was a friend of mine. His name is Bobby, and he posted on Facebook that it was the anniversary of his son who was killed in a car accident. So I sent him a private message and I said, hey, Bobby, I know this is a tough day, but just know that I'm thinking about you and your family. He hits me back and he said, hey, thanks, Steve. It's really good to hear from you. I hope you're doing well, man. We got to catch up. I said, yes, you tell me when you want to talk and we'll trade war stories a little bit. And he kind of laughed and he said, can you talk on Thursday? Boom. I call him on Thursday and we talked for 30 minutes. Before we even mentioned Super Patch. I wasn't going to talk about Super Patch. I'm asking him about him. How are you doing? How's the family? How's the wife? How are the brothers and sisters getting along? What's going on here? And then he finally comes around and says, hey, tell me what you're doing these days. Boom. Boom. Okay? Discover what's going on, because what he ended up telling me was he's not making enough money. He's struggling. He hates his job. And he's got to find something. I said, Bobby, you know me, man. All I do is help people create, different avenues in their life. And he goes, tell me what you're doing. Boom, 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 boom. Discover what people are doing. Guys, our goal has always been to create an army of raving fans. And how we do that is we help people fill a need. We help people solve a problem. And what I want you guys to do between now and the end of the month is I want you to take an inventory of how many lines of influence you have on your team. In other words, how many people do you have in your group that are serious about building their business? Now, if I look at my organization, I've got a lot of them. I got a lot of people who really want to go build this thing. But when I say line of influence, I've got a lot of people, but they're in this line. And then I've got this line over here. Then I've got this line or leg of people. You know how many strong legs I have, you guys? 4. I have 4. Now, they're good lines. They're good lines, and those 4 lines have created 7 vice presidents so far. Try to figure that out in your group. Who are those people? Who are those people that really, really want to work this business? Figure out how many strong lines you have, and that's where you gravitate towards. And never get into management mode. Guys, if you haven't personally enrolled a customer or an associate this month, your business is going to struggle. Because if you're not doing it, the people in your organization aren't going to do it either. You must, as a leader of your own organization, set the pace. If you want to be a 6-figure earner in this business, you've got to have the consistency of talking to people every day. And some will, some won't. So what? Some waiting. Our job is to sort people out. What I want you guys to do between now and the end of the month, generate volume. Figure out who needs volume in your group to get promoted to the next level. And make sure that they get to that next level, but make sure that those new associates that are coming into the business are getting on SmartShip. The buy 3, get 1 free, it's almost mandatory. Guys, it is almost mandatory. I did that video where I said we pay the rent. Well, the rent is you pay $40 to get in. You get the Flex 40 kit because you need the patches. You're going to set up your SmartShip, buy 3, get 1 free, and you're going to buy the tokens every month. And then we're going to go talk to people. And we're going to do that. We're going to take that little system and duplicate it again and again and again and again and get people to have the mindset of vice president. And what you are going to see very, very quickly, I don't know how long it's going to take Jay to program this, but everything that I just said is going to happen a lot faster. If you think you can get to vice president, you're going to get there in half the time. I got to shut up because I'm going to tell you guys something, and it's going to come back to me. Go build volume between now and the end of the month. It's 7:21. Anybody want to end this, close it? Anybody else? Questions, concerns? I got to go. I don't know if Scott's on the call. I thought I saw Scott Jurgemeyer jumped on the call here tonight. Scott enrolled a guy. I usually don't get excited about people until they actually do something. But Scott enrolled this couple, Jules and Greg. And Greg's
I'm on, Steve.
Hey, Scotty, how are you, brother? You want to tell everybody? First of all, I'll tell you who these guys are. Greg is a Hollywood film producer, and he when I talked to him the other day, he said, "Steve, Google me." He goes, "I'm a people mover," and he's a huge network marketer. Scott, real quick, you got 2 minutes. Tell everybody how you found this guy.
Okay, so on the side, I just Uber for the fun of it. And I live in Topeka, Kansas, and they were traveling through the country and their car broke down. And so they needed to drive from Topeka to Kansas City, which is about an hour. So I was driving them. We were just talking about life in general, and he asked me what I did, and I was just talking to him about the patches. And I didn't even get to do a demo. He goes, "I don't want the demo." He goes, "I'm so tired." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "If I buy some of those freedom patches for my mother-in-law, if they work," he goes, "we're all in." And they called me just a week or so ago, and they said that she has not been this much pain-free in over 10 years. And she's not using medication that she has been. So they joined, and they're all in, and it's going to be amazing.
And Scott, I have talked to them every single day since you met them. They're texting me every single day. They're putting their team together as we speak. And you know what, you guys? Scott was driving Uber anyways. He was just asking the right questions. So don't be afraid to talk to people when you get in front of them and discover what's going on in their life. And Scott, it sounded like Greg was the networker there because he started asking you questions, which was really, really good. Those are the kind of people you want. So congratulations, Scott.
Exactly.
We got a lot of work to do with these guys, though. But we're going to make it happen. All right, you guys, that's it. I don't want to keep you anymore. I promised you 20 minutes. We're at 25 minutes. Let's get out of here. We got a ton to do tonight, all day tomorrow. Floor it, because we can replace the brakes later, right? Just floor it. Figure out who needs what. Make it happen. I'm available. Let me know how I can help you guys in the next 36 hours here or so. And let's really, really, really end the month strong. You guys are the best. Let's get out of here. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for jumping on.